Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Stefon Show. Today's guest, I want to call him like a hometown hero to me, only because he's from my second home, but he's also a native here in Charlotte. I want to welcome Eric McIntosh to the Stefon Show today.
All right.
Eric, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, Stefon. Glad for you to have me on the show.
I'm glad you can make it.
Yeah.
Now, Eric, not to put you on the spot, but last time you kind of blew me off. You know what I mean? When I asked you to come on the show, you kind of left me hanging, Eric. You know what I mean? I was kind of hurting because we here today because we want to talk about this making the right moves.
Yes, making the right moves, entertainment conference.
Gotcha. I'm glad you said that correctly for me. So,
Yes.
making the right moves, entertainment conference.
Yes, sir.
Which is taking place when?
The conference is taking place June the 21st through June the 23rd.
Okay, and it's going to take place here in Charlotte, correct?
Yes, sir, here in Charlotte.
Now, what is this conference about?
Okay, the conference is going to be a workshop for independent artists. It's also going to be a celebrity event. Some of the celebrities that's going to be there is Trap Money Benny,
Okay.
as well as Little Nas X.
Really?
Yes, so it's going to be an event for the family. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be an event for up-and-coming artists, workshops. We're going to be teaching the up-and-coming artists on marketing, publishing, different kind of deals to stay away from.
Now, I want to cut you off. So when you're saying artists, you're speaking on recording artists, correct?
Yes, sir, recording
And when you're talking about
artists.
deals, you're talking about record deals, correct?
Yes.
Just want to be clear, because you know,
Yes.
I don't want a painter watching the show thinking, hey, I'm going to come to this conference.
Yes, that's right. That's
We got
right.
you. So
That's
go ahead.
right.
So you talk about different deals and different,
Yes.
you know, the marketing and
Yes,
what else?
the marketing. Also, with Trap Money Benny being there, he's a well-known, established producer. So the artists will be able to network with him, find out ways on how to submit their music to industry producers as well as industry A&Rs and CEOs.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Now you're saying Trap Money Benny. So for those who don't know who that is, I'm familiar with Trap Money Benny.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know who that is, let the world know who is Trap Money Benny.
okay, Trap Money Benny produced Drake's hit smash single, Kiki.
That's right.
So
You know,
everybody that's out
That's
there
right.
that
If you love me, you know Kiki. You know,
Yeah.
so yes, that's Trap Money Benny. So
Yes.
for those who aren't familiar and you know didn't know, you know that's a major producer.
yes,
You know,
very major.
and then you got Little Nas X. How'd you pull that off? Because he's hot right now. So how'd you make that happen?
I can't give out all my secrets. That's one of the important reasons why, you know, the artists should be able or should
Yes.
come to this conference, because they can get, you know, techniques, and they'll be able to learn how to get major artists
Yeah.
to come out to their shows, as well as being featured on some of their tracks.
Yes. So for you to do a conference like this, do you have a background or history? Were you ever in the music business yourself?
Yes. So I started out early on in hip hop back in the 80s when it, you know, first started. And I started out as a rapper.
Okay.
And back then, of course, there was no social media sites.
Exactly.
It was very, very hard. So what we would do was we would make our demo tapes, and we would shop our demo tapes to New York.
Okay.
And New York would give us the kind of response that most cats got. We don't like this. We threw your demo in the garbage can.
Yeah.
Hurt my poor little feelings, but you know, through time, you know, you grow and you get over certain things.
Of course.
So that's how I started out actually in the business. I started out as a rapper.
As an artist,
Yes.
a rapper.
Yes.
Now, because Kevin Lyles, he's from Baltimore. Did you run in
Yes.
that same circle back then as well with him before? Because, you know, he went to New York to intern,
Yes.
you know, for Def Jam. But I know he was an artist as well.
Yes.
'Cause
New Marks.
Yes, exactly. New Marks, yes. So he was an artist as well. So did you know him at that time, or were y'all in the same
No.
circle affiliation? No?
He was maybe 2 or 3 years before me.
Gotcha, okay.
So I came up listening to his music.
Okay.
And, you know, wanting to be like him. But when I got actually started, he had already transitioned from Baltimore to New York.
Gotcha.
Def Jam and Russell Simmons and that whole
Exactly.
era.
Okay, cool. So forgive me, I wasn't trying to date you or anything like that. You know, just
Listen to him.
I just wasn't sure, you know, because, you know, like I said, a lot of people, you know, that music business savvy or educated, you know, they're familiar with with Kevin Liles, you know, and his history. And with me coming from living in Baltimore as well, and not only living in Baltimore, I used to work for Liaison Records while I was out there. So before I even started working there, you know, I know, you know, my boss Becky and Tom, they distributed like the new marks. You know, so when I came into the company, she was telling me about, because that's how I found out Kevin rap. Like she told me, we distributed his, you know, his. I was like, okay, cool. So that's what that, you know, so that's how that question came about. So you went from rapping. Did you do anything else in the business as well?
I went from rapping to, at one time I was a hype man, you know. One time I was beatboxing. You know, I even tried a little DJing, but rapping was, you know, my main my main thing. And I also went through Liaison. I believe, was they on St. Paul or St. Charles Street? I think it was St. Paul Street.
By the time I started working there, because I started working Liaison like late 2000. So when I started working there, they was in Laurel, Maryland.
They left out of Baltimore. But yeah, I done some CDs and I got them pressed up through Liaison, so I'm familiar with Liaison.
Cool. So, and how'd that work? How'd your singles work?
It worked out good.
Was it singles or was it EPs or was it full album?
It was a full album. The name of the album, you know, was Graduation Day. My rap name was Shank Rock. You know, I'm sure all my Baltimore family remember Shank Rock. So it was just the album and everything, and it done pretty good. It didn't do what it could have done if I would have knew what I know now.
Gotcha. Now, no, I want to get back into the conference, but I have a question because, again, you know, we both come from the Baltimore market. Back then, I know Baltimore was big with club music. You know, so do you think that's what kind of gave artists in Baltimore at that time? Because right now, Baltimore local artists, they popping. But back then, I felt like local rappers, they kind of struggled because club music was just so big. Now, do you think that was also a struggle you probably had being in the market back then?
Yes. Because as you said, Baltimore, we were known for club music. Not to jump the subject, like DC is known for go-go.
Exactly,
Baltimore was known for club music. So when, you know, I would present my single, I would present a song to the local DJs, they were so used to the club music that it was like, you know, I don't want to hear that. And so it was, you know, hard.
Gotcha. I get it. So you didn't want to, like, RP to Reggie Regs, but you wouldn't give it like Reggie and say, yo, Reggie, like let's do a club song or something like. I mean, did you ever try to get in that circle like that or not?
Now, rest in peace, Reggie Reg. Reg was one of the good DJs. You know, he was a good DJ, and he tried to get behind some of the local artists with producing club tracks for some of the local artists. But it just didn't. It just didn't reach its full potential. As I'll say, it just didn't reach its full potential because, like I said, we're known for club music.
Exactly.
So, you know, a rapper, it was like, you got a club track, give it here, I'll play it.
Exactly. Because, and again, I bring that up because, you know, when I started at Liaison, I met a lot of, you know, rappers or aspiring rappers at the time that, you know, we did the distribution deals, you know, but a lot of the guys that were kind of older by the time I got there that, you know, said they were trying to rap, they would tell me when they rapped like in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, people laughed at them. You know, they didn't take them serious. You know, so it was just like one of the things like, for real, but then I kind of, when I started to really learn to understand the market and then even learn the history, it was like, oh, I mean, I get it now, like, you know what I mean? And then so you have a business partner named Reggie.
Yes, Reg Hatcher.
Reg, and he's still in Baltimore.
Yes, correct? He's in the Baltimore area.
Now, how did you two come together? Because this is a conference that you both do together.
Yes.
You know, and so I'm asking you because I know he's not here, so I'm kind of asking you to speak on his behalf. You know what I mean? Shout out to Reggie. You know what I mean?
Well, I met Reggie during the time of my rapping days. And I just kept hearing somebody, I was performing a show, and I just kept hearing somebody just saying, Shank Rock, where's this Shank Rock? I have to meet this Shank Rock. Look, I didn't know who he was, you know, so I'm laying in the cut like, you know. So when we actually got up close to each other and I met him, he was like, I need to do a video of yours. And that was 2001. And he produced my first rap video called The Baby Mama Hitter. And since then, me and him been like ace.
So real quick, you said The Baby Mama.
Yeah, The Baby Mama Hitter.
Hitter. That could be taken so many different ways. As soon as you said that, I took it as you punched your baby mama in the face. Like, so what is The Baby Mama Hitter? So people not miss.
It was just like, you know, it wasn't me physically hitting my baby mama. It was like me hitting your baby mama or hitting his baby mama. You know.
You say so hitting other people's baby
Yes,
mamas. Got you. Okay.
Yes.
Like so, like physically, like
No,
hitting, like what do you
no,
mean? Like
no,
oh, you mean
no.
like hitting? Like
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Street terminology.
Got
Street
you. Okay, cool.
terminology.
Oh, okay, got you.
Street
But
slang.
for those who aren't like street savvy watching the show, you know, I want to make everything clear. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you was the baby mama hitter. Got
baby
you.
mama
Got
hitter.
you. Got you. Okay, cool. All right, so you was nasty with it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So that was
In my younger days.
Of
you know,
course,
in
of
my
course. I
younger
mean,
days.
you grow. So of
Yeah.
course we all grow. But of course, you know. I mean, that's part of who you are,
Yeah.
you know. So that was your single, and you said he shot the video.
He shot the video for me, and then we went from the rapper and video maker to just business partners.
Okay.
Really learning the game. You know, taking all our L's, our mistakes, and just capitalizing on them and saying, okay, well, we did this.
Yeah.
That wasn't success, so let's try it this way. And then, you know, we came up with this music conference.
Gotcha.
You know, and that just off of the experiences that we had. Like I'm able to tell 18 or 19-year-old artist that's coming in the game, I'm able to tell them, look, don't make that mistake because
Yeah.
I made that mistake. Go about it this way.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. And then, so how long has this conference been around?
the conference started 2005.
Okay.
And it's been around since 2005.
And it wasn't always here in Charlotte.
No, we done 2 in Charlotte, and 4 of them was back home in Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
And we've had Ice-T, we've had Terrence from 106 in Park.
Okay. Terrence J. Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Cool. And I'm assuming you're still doing these conferences. I'm assuming they're pretty
Yes.
successful.
Yes, they're very successful.
What's
Very
like the
successful.
average turnout?
700 to 1,000 people.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a big deal. That ain't,
That's a big deal.
Yeah, there ain't no-
It's nothing to play with.
Yeah.
It's nothing to play with. It's
That's
nothing
what's
to play
up.
with. Yes.
Okay. Cool. And this is obviously a ticketed event.
Yes.
Correct. So where can people buy tickets?
Eventbrite.
Okay.
If anybody, know how to get on Eventbrite, and unfortunately, even though we deal with a technology society, a lot of folks are just not into the technology.
Exactly.
And so for people that have trouble with going on Eventbrite, I'll leave my name and I'll leave all my contact information, and then they could just personally call me up, and I'll make sure they get a ticket.
Gotcha. And this is a 3-day event, correct?
It's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So do you know the itinerary? Like, can you say like what's happening Friday, what's happening Saturday, what's happening Sunday? That's too early in
Well,
advance to
I
say.
do know for all those that would like to come out to see Lil Nas X, he'll be performing Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So put on your cowboy
Yes,
boots,
exactly.
get your cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Do all that and come on out, man, and bring the family. Bring the kids. Bring grandma. And that was the hip hop that I grew up on.
Of course.
And it's no disrespect to the artists that's out. I feel like hip hop is an expression of someone's feelings, or just the
course.
way how they express things. But I'm sure you grew up during that time also, when hip hop was fun.
Yeah.
And so the conference, we want to make it fun. We want to make it for everybody.
Definitely.
Because believe it or not, grandma will support you. Grandma will
course.
support you quicker than your friends, or quicker than the people that you think will support you. So for the up and coming artists, make something for grandma, make something for mama, make something for your family. And I promise you, you'll have a better and a different response than you would if you always making trap music, or if you always making bang bang shoot 'em up type music.
Exactly. Now, I'm glad you're saying that, because I used to manage artists. Real quick, my background, like when we talked off camera.
Yes.
I told you I was with CBS for
Yes.
12 years. But prior to me getting to CBS, I worked in the music business. So I worked at Atlantic Records. I worked for Russell Simmons, and I told you I worked at Liaison as well.
Yeah.
So I managed artists.
Okay.
And with me managing an artist, I managed my cousin. Yeah, I'm gonna put him on the spot. My cousin, my little cousin, I managed him. But he never. You made a good point with saying, like, make music for grandma, or even just bring the family out
Yeah.
to this conference, because your family, believe it or not, are like your biggest supporters.
Yeah.
And a lot of these artists, they don't know. They act like they don't know how or where to get the support, when the support is right there.
Yes.
you know, the whole time.
Yes.
You know, I knew an artist that said, like, when every time he did a show, he invited all his family, his cousins, friends, and then it turned into a word of mouth thing, because then they would slowly bring like a friend, and then that friend would bring a friend. And if that friend really likes you, then it's like they'll tell more people about it, so then you gain that following. But a lot of these artists, they don't tell the family to come out. And with that being said, yeah, I encourage the family to come out to this conference too, like, especially if you're an aspiring artist, because your family, in most cases, not all cases, but in most cases, they're your biggest supporters.
Yes.
You know, and my little cousin, his mother knew all the words to all his music, you know, and then we have a big family in New York. You know, so we did one show where it's like I invited all of the family to come out, because it's like, this is my cousin, like, we're related to all the same people. You're not gonna tell them, I'll tell them. And then we were doing stuff, and even like our cousins would come to me like, how come he's not telling us? Like, I would love to come to a show. You know, and so, I mean, I feel like that support always starts with the family. You know, and like I said, in most cases, I mean, there are people who honestly don't have that, you know, family support, you know, which is, you know, unfortunate, but that's just what it is. But if you do have the family support, yeah, invite mom, invite grandma, invite dad, invite Uncle Bob, like, you know what I mean? Invite all those people, because they are your first initial and original supporters. And like I said, that's when the word of mouth comes into play. I feel like I'm saying too much. I feel like this should be for the conference. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say too much. But
keep on, man. Keep speaking. You know, we would love to have you at the conference on the panel. You know, the conference is not just for, you know, me and my partner. The conference is for you. The conference is for anyone that have some knowledge on the industry. And I'm going to put this out there. We wonder why we get the artists that rap about drugs, rap about guns, and rap about sex and things of that nature, because we won't step up. I'll say it again. We won't step up. It's not the record label, it's not the record company's job to put out the music that me and you know should be put out. It's up to me and you. It's up to us to get behind these artists while they're still on the ground, because most of the artists that's even rapping today, if you go back, they'll tell you that they used to rap positive. David Banner, he said when he was making positive music, he couldn't get nobody to get at him. When he made the Like a Pimp with Lil Flip, he was getting all kind of phone calls. So we as a people, not just black people, we as a people, because, and I hate to go political and I hate to get off the subject, but we as a people have a job to do. And we as a people have to support the brothers and sisters that's out here trying to do something constructive. Don't let the record company come in, because you know when the record company come in, what the record company going to do.
I mean, I agree with you saying, but because I've worked on a business, I understand. I worked on the business side. I understand how the label operates, and even like nowadays, the artists have that freedom to do what they want. But like I know, like back in the day, even like when I had Jazzo here, and I was talking to him about, you know, how him and Jay-Z came together and stuff like that. Jazzo, he said on the show, like when he signed the Tommy Boy, like they wanted him to be like this singer.
Wow.
Jazzo? Yeah, Jazzo.
Wow.
He came, like, if you watch the show, like, if you watch the rerun or whatever, I can send you a link, whatever, he talks about how they wanted him to be a singer. They didn't want him rapping.
Wow.
So, and because he knows how to sing. A lot of people don't know Jazzo can sing, but because he knows how to sing, he said he did a couple of joints singing, but that's not what he wanted to do. And then when he left and went to EMI, they wanted him to be like the Fresh Prince. So if you look at like Hawaiian Sophie, that video, he was like, that's what they wanted. And I said to him like on the show, like, yo, but I felt like it made you look like a clown, because that's not who you are. And he said he even went places and everybody was asking him like, are you from Philly? Because, you know, Fresh and Jazzy Jeff, like that was their thing, and that's what EMI wanted to imitate. So that's how he came out with that video, you know. But I'm saying that to say, like, I know back then the label, they did have that say so. And you got to think, they're the one cutting the checks. And that's what Jazz came flat out. He said, like, yo, they was feeding me. Like, I'm not going to tell them no.
And I understand.
Yeah, so I understand, like, back then, the artists, unfortunately, didn't have a say-so. And not for nothing, if you pulling these dudes out of the hood, out of their, whatever their current situation is, to give them a whole different lifestyle, some of them might say, you know what, fuck it. Like,
it is what it is.
You know, but nowadays, you know, artists do have that freedom. But like you pointed out, it's like we have to be the ones that get behind them, even if they do positive music. And with you saying David Banner was saying when he was doing positive music, nobody cared. Unfortunately, like we as a people, most of us, and sad to say, they don't. Like, and so it's like you could try to do positive music, and it's like, I mean, unless you're like Rakim, Rakim doesn't curse or nothing. Like, I mean, there's very few, and then like say like even Fresh Prince, he even with Summertime, like he still made like fun, positive music, but nobody took him serious.
No.
And it was like, it's unfortunate. So it's like, that's something, if that's what you're gonna talk about at conference, I feel like that's dope. Like, let people know, like, because sometimes people feel like they have to make
right
for that attention, to get that money, to get that buzz, to drive sales. When what if they really don't want to? But we don't know what they want or don't want. But nowadays with social media and with independence being so big, it's like you do have the freedom to do it.
Right.
But I don't know if they're aware. I don't know if it's peer pressure. I don't know if they feel like because people won't care.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm glad you said that as well too. Like, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things that these artists need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? You special guest, he gonna be on the panel, and I want y'all to hold him to it, because he knows more than I know. So we would love to have you out, man. We would love to have you out, man, and give your input, man. And
I mean, I don't think it's knowing more than what you. I'm piggybacking off what you're saying, so I can't sit there and say I know more than what you know. Like I said, it's just my passion. I was never ever an artist. But my passion was always the music business. So it was like when I was in high school, I was like, yo, when I get out of here, I'm going to be an A&R. I never went to college or nothing like that. It was just like, I'm going to be an A&R.
Yeah. What made you, because I'm sure like back then, the rapper was the main focus. What made you get stuck on the A&R? Like,
because I knew a lot of talent.
Oh.
You got to think, like, back then, especially even coming from New York, like everybody rapped.
Right.
My cousin that I said I was managing working, his mother rapped.
Right.
I have a homeboy out of New York named Supreme out of the Bronx. Like, his mother taught him how to rap, and he was like one of my favorite rappers. So it's like, in New York, it's in you.
Right.
So, but I knew I never wanted to be an artist, but I felt like because I was smart, I always wanted to get in on the business end.
Right.
And so, on one of the episodes, I talk about how I started working for an independent label called Kid Lightning Records.
Okay.
So, owned by this Jewish dude named Mitch. He just rich, and he had money. He just wanted to start a label. So in New York, there's tons of street performers. Yeah. So he saw a street performer that he liked. He was like, I feel like this guy need a deal. You know what? I'm gonna start a label and sign him.
Wow.
So that's how that worked. And in the Village Voice, back then, Village Voice is still around. In the Village Voice, they had ads on the back, and it was saying record label like seeking interns. So like I said, I was fresh out of high school. I didn't want to go to college, but I knew I wanted to do this music thing. Right. So I called that ad. I was the first one that called and told them, like, listen, I could, And they had me come through, and they had a showcase in Alphabet City, which is in the Village. And I came through, and they, like, my uncle came with me. He lied and said we had our own, like, music marketing company, but they hired me. And so that was, like, my end. But once I got in, I went on tour with them, and then it was like, I met people, through, networking and things of that nature, where that's how I started slowly, getting deeper and deeper into the business. Right. Never made it to the A&R level. I always, like, when I was at Atlantic Records, I worked radio promotions. And even when Russell Simmons, when he left Def Jam and started RSMG, the Russell Simmons Music Group, like, I was doing radio promotions for that as well, too. Okay. So I never made it to the A&R world, but I was still doing, and that's how I ended up just working in regular radio as well, because it was like, I'm like, all right, well, I'm not in labels no more. What's close to being a label? Then I have the radio promotions background, so I just started working in radio, So, that's how I got into it, So, but that's why, because I never felt like I was an artist, So that's what made me say, you know what, let me just do the business, So so, and not too many people, want to do the. Everybody wants to be an artist. Everybody wants to be in the spotlight. Everybody wants to be a star, And because of all of my homeboys that would battle, that would rap, and I thought they were so dope, I was like, yo, I want to put them on. So that's how I got into the business.
My man.
So if I didn't know you back then, I'd have been like, yo, come on, Shay, let's do this. Like, you know what I mean? Especially, and that's when I loved when I got in that liaison. I got in a liaison because I had just moved to Baltimore. Okay. And Baltimore's not a music market.
No.
Not. I mean, right now it's kind of growing into that right now. I give it that.
Okay.
It is, like, with artists like Izzy and like they all. I mean, they're signing Universal Republic. Like Young Moose signed the Boosie. Like now they're getting a lot of spotlight. But at that time it was still big on the club scene. Okay. So I was looking for something like, what could I get into, like, music later? So I would grab the Yellow Pages, because there was no, like, social media like that back then. Like, this is what 2003. I grabbed the yellow pages and just looked in the category of like record labels, record something, and I found Liaison. I called them and they told me come in, and they interviewed me, but they didn't give me the job. Tom at the time, like it was Tom and Becky that owned it. I met with Tom, and Tom didn't give me the job. So I actually ended up going back to New York for a little bit. And then he called me when I was in New York, like, listen, if you still want the job, like you have it. So I came right back down to Maryland and took the job. And I was happy because I was the one like bringing people in, getting them the distribution deals.
Right.
You know, and that made me feel good. I was like, oh, this is a start. Like I'm not an A&R per se, but this is a start.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And so it was like bringing people in and get them their deals. And I saw how the whole distribution process worked.
Right.
You know, Liaison at the time, you said they pressed up your...
Yeah, they pressed up some vinyls because this was back in the days. You
Yeah.
know, they pressed up some vinyls, some CDs, and some posters.
Okay, so when I was there, by the time I got there, they wasn't doing like P&D deals or pressing up anything anymore. They did strictly distribution. So it was like you had to bring in like the product. Because I know like Morpheus distribution there in Baltimore.
Yes.
A lot of people go there to get this stuff manufactured and pressed up and then bring it to us.
Yeah.
Because Morpheus, they focus more on like the rock and roll stuff.
Right.
But they did like the press and distribution. So people like who did like hip hop, R&B, go-go, club music, they would go to like Morpheus to get this stuff pressed up and then bring it to Liaison, and we would distribute this as Liaison, focus solely on the urban stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so like I said, if I knew back then, I'd have like, yo, Shay, come on, niggas happen, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so with me saying that, do you still have it in you? Like, do you still rap? Do you still want to rap? I mean, I know that bug doesn't just go away. Like,
I'm on the producing side. Like, you know, some of my artists, like I have an artist now, Sakaya Avenue and Johnny Cash. Now I helped out a little bit with some of their production, like, you know, okay, take that out of the verse, you know, put this in the hook, you know, things like that. But as actually full-time rapper, no, I don't have it in me no more.
No? Okay, gotcha.
My kids give me that look like, oh man, if you don't sit your you know what down.
Yeah.
So.
Nah, I mean, but something like, so like I had Ed the Rapping Realtor. Are you familiar with Ed the Rapping Realtor?
No. Charlotte or?
He's Charlotte. He's here in Charlotte.
No.
So Ed the Rapping Realtor, he was here about a couple weeks ago, and I had him on here. And he went from rapping to real estate mogul. Very successful real estate. You know, his company is in, you know, 4 states. He's based here in Charlotte, but he started out as a rapper. So he rapped with, he had songs with Uncle Luke. He was on Uncle Luke's album. He was on like 95 South album, things of that nature. But I'm saying that to say is like, he still has that bug. Like I had a meeting with him last week because he knows I've been in the business, so he wants me to help him. You know, so I'm like, so he still has that bug. So he said, he's like, I still do real estate, but you know, I want to marry the brand together. So like if you listen to his commercial, because he advertised on streets a lot as well, and all his commercials is him rapping about the real estate game. Wow. You know, so he even has a music video, and he's coming out with the EP, you know, about rapping and real estate. Like, so that's why I brought that up, because he still has that bug, and I was seeing if you still had that bug too, like to just still just do it. Like
so let me ask you this, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Is it any man's game now, or is it just the young guy's game?
Nowadays, any man's game.
Any man.
Back then, I'd have said a young guy's game.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's any man's game. And I say this, like, there's an artist in Baltimore, I'm going to plug him, Jay Royale.
Okay.
He's a homeboy of mine. Jay Royale, he's my age.
Okay.
He's older, so I don't want to date myself.
Okay.
He's older. And believe it or not, he's actually an artist that me and Jazzo was going to manage together back in the day. You know, because Jazzo, no, that's my homeboy. Like, even though, like, you know, I had him on, like, I do a lot of business with Jazzo, like, we're actually, like, homies. So Jazzo and I was going to manage Jay Royale, you know, back in the day, and, you know, life happened. So Jazzo had a lot of things going on in his personal life where he couldn't focus on the business. And, you know, and I was in New York, so I was like, well, me and Jazz ain't doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Because I kind of wanted Jazzo's cosign because of his affiliation, you know, the whole. So if Jazz wasn't doing it, I kind of just backed off a little too, you know. But Jay Royale was like, all right, well, I'm still doing this. I'm doing this without you guys. And this year alone, he released an EP. It's fire, and his buzz is growing because he was hungry and he was determined. So it was like he got songs with Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, even local artists like Boss Man out of Baltimore. Like
I know Boss.
Yeah, so he got songs with Boss Man. He's doing a show with the homie Scar Akbar out of Baltimore. So it's like and he's getting like huge love overseas. He even pressed up like a limited edition, like I said, vinyl limited edition cassette tape.
Yeah.
He got a skateboard out. Like his branding is crazy, but it was like because he wanted it, and it's like now that era that we come from is considered boom bap. So he just caters to that boom bap audience that's just into like that classic hip hop.
Right.
And
that's a market.
Exactly, it is a market. Yeah, because you got to think now we're that demo for that.
Yeah.
So back then rap was still fairly new, so it was still young man's game. But now it's like we're that demo. We're that demo don't listen to the the quote unquote like mumble raps. There are people that still want to hear that boom bap, which is you could call it backpack rap, you could call it whatever, but it's that there's still a genre for it that nobody's really touching. And J. Royale, like he tapped into that.
Wow.
And he's killing it. And it's like. And I told Jazzo, even though Jazzo, he's on tour right now with Rakim, I told Jazzo, I said, yo, we need to follow J. Royale's blueprint right now, because he kind of killing it, like, so, but I'm just saying that to say, so, it's a any man's game now, man. Like, you can't, before you could say it was a young man's game.
Yeah.
But even with people like Hov, who's almost 50, still doing it, it's like, he still has a targeted audience that he reaches and that will still buy his stuff. Not for nothing, even Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang still has like a hardcore audience that's like an older demo now. Like, you know what I mean? So it's any man's game, man. Like,
so you saying that you're gonna be my manager, or what is it that you saying? You got me. You sold me.
I haven't heard you.
I haven't heard you.
I haven't heard you. Like, you know what I mean? So it's one of the things. It's like, we can talk business. Like, but so I mean, there's a market for it now. Back then, like I said, people probably look at you crazy. Like, are you 30-year-old rapper, like 40-year-old rapper, you 50. Now it's like, like there's a demo for it, like even like not for nothing, Jazz, he just got a situation with Rock Nation, so and that's why he's on tour, like promoting his situation, and he's up there. He ain't a young man, like he's up there, but his situation is he has a label deal, but he still wants to put out his own music.
Right.
And not for nothing, like, he still got it.
Yeah.
Every time he sent me the music, I'm like, yo, Jazz, like, you still actually got it. Like, you know what I mean? And like I said, there's an audience that's waiting for that because they don't get it no more. They're honestly still reverting to the classics. But even if with the urban AC stations now, like Chicago has like a hip hop classic, like FM station. Right. So even like the urban AC stations, which is, adult contemporary, they would play like stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they're targeting the 35 and older crowd. So like your kids may laugh at you, but there's people our age might be like, yo, Shane killing it. Like, you know what I mean?
And that's another thing that, myself will be touching off on a conference. Like, what really makes us successful, or what word, I'm looking for a certain word. What classifies you as a successful artist?
Yeah.
Is it the fame? Is it the media attention? Is it the numbers? Mm-hmm. Exactly what is it that classifies an artist as a successful artist?
I mean, is that like?
It's a question. It's a question to you.
It's a question to me.
Yes.
Honestly, for me, I look at it as the numbers.
Yeah.
Like it is a numbers game. At the end of the day, it is. I mean, unless you're doing it as a hobby, it is like your job, your career. To move units. And with any business, I mean, moving units is generating revenue. Yeah. So I always look at the numbers, yes. And again, like I've met so many artists, even producers, they would give up or they would say they're just doing it for the love. And when you say you're doing it for the love, like I ain't even chasing the dollar no more, you're doing it for love. In my eyes, I feel like you gave up.
Yeah.
Like you're still doing it as a hobby, but you gave up. When you say that, like those words, like I'm still doing it, but I'm hoping somebody catches on. Right. Where again, I have to bring up the homie J. Royale, and this isn't a plug for J. Royale. It's just speaking facts. Like he was like this is what he wants. Right. He wants to retire from this. He wants to, take care of his kids with this, kids with this. And it's like, and this is passion of his. Yeah. He still has his day job. He didn't quit his day job, but he still his numbers is doing well, and that's how passionate he is, you know what I mean? And that's something like your passion is going to take you far. Your passion is going to give you that success you're looking for, you know what I mean? And he never gave up, you know what I'm saying? And how I found him was when I was in Baltimore years ago, because I used to DJ too. Okay. So I used to do...
Jack of all trades.
Yeah. So I was doing everybody in Baltimore's mixtape for free.
Wow.
because nobody knew who I was. So I felt like I didn't have a value.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, so I could sit there and charge you to do a mixtape, but then it's like, if you're gonna spend money on me, you might as well spend it for like a hot DJ.
Right.
So like, nobody knows me.
Right.
So let me give you this mixtape. And then it was like, shout out to Mike McIntosh and Ogun and all them.
That's where I recorded at. Mike Mac.
Oh, okay, yeah. So shout out to Mike Mac.
Architects.
Yeah, so architects, yeah. So Mike Mac and Ogun, they would send me all the artists.
Right.
Like, well, here, you want to do free mixtape? I mixed it, hosted it, gave you the free artwork, and I distributed it on all the mixtape platforms.
Right.
So it's like, you got a deal,
Right.
but it was only a one-time deal.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and I told everybody, if you don't like it, you don't got to use me no more.
There you go.
But it was like, I did every mixtape, and they was like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
was on it.
They
was
was
up
like,
on it.
I even had a couple of artists, like, out of New York, you know what I mean? I was about to say the artist's name, but I ain't gonna do that. She had her mixtape hosted by DJ Envy, her first mixtape. And then I was partnered with Faces in the Crowd Showcase. Shout out to Reality and Shalon, you know what I mean? Faces in the Crowd out of New York, you know what I mean? It was for whatever artist that wins the showcase, I do their mixtape. And when I do their mixtape, again, same thing. I'll do your artwork, I'll distribute it through all my platforms that I was affiliated with, because I was with so many DJ crews too.
Right.
So I did her mixtape, and she hit me like, yo, this joint is way better than my Envy mixtape.
Wow.
And I was like, I know. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to homie DJ Envy,
Yeah.
but that made me feel good because he was on a higher platform.
Right.
He still is on a higher platform.
Right.
And it was like, but I knew I was dope.
Right.
You know what I mean? I knew I was fire. Anybody who went with me mixtape was like, I had one kid call me like, yo, I ain't know it was gonna sound like this, yo. Like, I was like, come on, like, you know what I mean? So, and that's how I found J. Real, because the homie Ogun sent J. Real my way, and I did his mixtape. And J. Real, he hit me like, yo, like, this is the hardest mixtape ever, yo. Like, and this was his first mixtape.
Right.
But I had so many artists, even whack artists, that I did their mixtapes for. Like, you know what I mean? And they were whack, but I still made their mixtape sound fire.
Right.
But J. Rel was actually an artist that I actually listened to. When I did a mixtape, I would pop it in the CD, like, pop it in the car and just bump that joint. I'm like, this joint actually fire, like, you know what I mean? And I stayed in touch with him, and that's how, like I said, it led to me and Jazzo wanting to manage him, because Jazzo even heard them tracks, and he was like, oh, this kid nice.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that's how I don't know why I got into that. I don't know if you asked a question that opened that up, but that's how, you know what I mean, I got into it, because I was like, let me do free mixtape just to generate my buzz, to build my brand, you know, as a DJ. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I was able to work with all the artists, you know, tons of artists, you know, even like back when Rick Ross started Maybach Music Group, and he had, Triple C, so it was Torch and Gunplay with him, and then it was
He had Gunplay with him before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gunplay was Gunplay was one of the first artists with Maybach. You know what I mean? Before the Meek Mill and Wale era. It was Torch from the Bronx, Gunplay, you know, out of Miami. They had Mass Pike Miles, which was an R&B singer out of Boston, and I did Mass Pike Miles mixtape too. So I was getting like a lot of, they weren't major, but you know, major affiliates. So even like Rock City, R City, you know what I mean, that's Akon's group, and they do a lot of songwriting. Like I did their, like one of their mixtape projects. Like I was just going in, just doing everybody joint. Like, oh, yo, you newly signed? Let me do your mixtape. You know what I mean? So I was just doing that just to build my brand, build my buzz, and people was loving it. Then I just stopped. You know what I mean?
Just stop.
I just stopped. You know what I mean? It was just like, I don't know why, I just stopped. Like,
So I'm giving you the invitation to come on back in.
What, do your mixtape or something? Like,
Mixtape,
like, you know what I mean? Like,
A&R, manager, however, you coming back in on the team. Making the right movement, entertainment, you're on the team.
Oh, so I just got a job. You know what I mean?
Got a job. That's how you do anyway, man.
Exactly.
You just pop up and you just get a job. So
Exactly.
bam, you're very knowledgeable, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's very good.
Nah, thank you, man. Thank you. Nah,
very
it's
good.
just because I've been around it for so long.
Yeah.
And I actually, like I said, I've walked in the door of these labels, and I've worked there. And even me working in the label, when I worked at Atlantic Records, I realized I hated it. Like, because it was a job.
Right.
It wasn't like my idea me thinking I'm going to a record label, thinking I'm being in a studio, I'm be traveling, I'm be getting all these perks. You know, I get there and I'm at a desk all day.
Working.
Yeah. And I'm just like, nah, this ain't, I don't like this. I don't want this. And shout out to the homie Frank Johnson. Like when I was at Atlantic Records, I sat right outside of his office.
Frank used to be with Def Jam. He used to be with Def Jam.
He was with Def Jam, and then when Kevin went to Atlantic, you know, because you know Kevin and Frank, you know, they're boys. So Kevin took Frank with him. You know, so when I came to Atlantic, you know, when I came to Atlantic, I started out as an executive assistant. So working for Mike Kaiser and Julie Greenwald. You know what I mean? but I sucked as executive assistant. So they didn't fire me. They transferred me to radio promotions. So that's when I started working for Morris Landy, who's over at Empire now doing this thing. Okay. But Morris was my boss. And then, you know, Frank, I don't know if Frank, we all were in the same department because Frank was in charge of like national radio promotions and Morris was like radio promotions, something like that. Forgive me if I'm saying like the wrong, you know, so Frank and Morris, y'all watching this, forgive me. I know we all were together in the same radio promotions department though, you know what I mean? Right. But, yeah, but that's the knowledge comes from just the experience, you know what I mean? And it's like, now I'm just doing this TV show talking about, you know, the music business, you know what I mean? So world, if y'all heard, I got a job today, you know what I mean? So that's what's up, man. Like, this conference, again, let's talk about the date again. The conference is when?
The conference is June the 21st through June the 23rd, and that's the weekend, Friday through Sunday.
So now that I have this job, that means what's that mean? Am I going to be a panel or am I getting a press pass? Like, I mean, what's going on? Like, what am I doing?
Whatever you want to do. That's the type of job you got. You wear many hats. I can't contain you to one, you know, one spot. You need it here, you need it there, you need it everywhere.
Yeah.
So you got my blessings.
I don't know if it's a setup. I come to you got me like cleaning the floors and shit. Like, give me janitorial work. Like,
I mean, it's worth a shot. You know, it's worth a shot. But yeah, like I said, Saturday the 22nd is Little Nas X performance. That's already sketched out in concrete. So anyone that's looking to see his performance, it's going to be that Saturday, June the 22nd.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So.
And tickets, they moving?
The tickets are moving. Tickets are moving. You know, spots to open up for him is moving. Any artists that's looking to open up for him, looking to be performing on that Saturday, it's going quick. It's going quick. It's going quick.
No, I'm glad you said this. I didn't know. So, I mean, yeah, that's definitely something we get the word out too. Like, you know, let artists know. Like, y'all can open up for Little Nas X. Nah, that's what's up. Okay, cool.
And it's not just for Charlotte. I got cats coming out from Baltimore. I got cats coming out from VA. So if you hearing this, it's for you. No matter how far you are, come on through. It's beneficial.
And bring grandma.
Bring grandma with you. You know, my mom used to sell my CDs and my cassette tapes and everything. And that's when I started to catch the business side of it. Like, wow. So if I stop making this kind of music, and if I start making music for, you know, these people, just imagine the revenue or imagine the money that I could be bringing in.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, and then like I said now, and with the labels figuring out how, not even with the labels, just with the streaming aspect of figuring out how to like generate revenue that way. Because I remember like, again, when I was at Liaison, and then Apple came out with iTunes, you know, that kind of hurt a lot of these labels and distribution companies. But before even iTunes, when Napster was around, like, you know, all them, because Napster was illegal, then iTunes came out and made it legal, like now you got to buy the music from here. You know, labels didn't know how to deal with the digital age, you know, and then when Spotify came around and saying, yo, you can make money just off of streaming and playing, because you got to think like Dat Piff and all the mixtape sites, they were doing streaming for years, but nobody was making money off of that. You know what I mean? So you got to think Spotify actually turned it into a business where it's like, yo, you could stream, and now Spotify has it where you could put your own music up now, so you don't have to go through TuneCore or none of these distribution platforms. You can do it yourself. You know, so now it's easy. So if you could tap into your core audience, that's also why I said it's any man's game too, because now it's like you just tap into your core audience, and if they playing their favorite song like 1,000,000 times, that's a check for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's straight up. So it's like, nah, like, yeah, you say your mom's just selling you a joint. Like, I mean, she's your family. She's your biggest supporter. She's mom. Like, you know what I mean? And so, nah, this conference, like, nah, I feel like this would be very educational and something for these artists they need to hear.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's what's up. So are you a panelist as well or no?
Well, I'm going to be hosting it.
You're hosting,
you know, and on social media, I'm known by Mr. Slangology. So, you know, Mr. Slangology himself will be hosting it. I'll be hosting it.
Gotcha.
Some other guest appearances will be from Tiffany Nicole from the Side Chicks of Charlotte.
Okay.
Well, you just got down here, so you don't know nothing about the Side Chicks of Charlotte.
Actually, I mean, they was actually supposed to be on the show today. They were supposed to be the next guest after you.
Wow.
But, you know, I guess the schedule conflict. So
Yeah.
they was actually supposed to be coming, you know, right after you. So,
Okay.
You know, but so I haven't seen the show.
Okay.
Heard of it.
Yeah.
You know, but haven't seen it. So I'm familiar with it. Just
It's
to
a
answer your
reality show.
Mm.
It's no different from the other reality shows.
Mm.
You know, they doing their thing.
Mm.
You know, Tiffany Nicole, she'll be coming through, and a couple of the other girls will be coming through the conference.
Okay.
So the conference is going to be lit.
Yeah.
It's for any and everybody.
Gotcha.
You know, but security is going to be tight. So,
Yeah.
you know, anybody that's coming through that may be thinking about getting on some, you know, nonsense, leave that home.
No, I mean, I hope not. I mean, everybody should be there to build,
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, I hope nobody's on no nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, nah. Okay. Cool. So, I mean, those are any A&Rs coming to be panelists as well, or?
No A&Rs as of right now.
Okay.
No A&Rs as of right now.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
well, you. Come on, bro. Go on and plug yourself.
I never
Go on
made.
and plug
like I said, I
yourself.
never made it to be an A&R. So
Well, here's your shot.
Not quite the
Here's
A&R.
your
Like,
shot.
you know what I mean? Never
You-
made
you-
it.
You
there,
the
you know what I mean? Yeah.
A&R making the right moves entertainment conference.
I mean, but I know A&Rs.
Yeah.
If you want to talk like off camera, that we could make happen. Like,
Yeah.
and like real talk. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I know a couple of A&Rs that are in my phone that we can
Yeah,
call.
that's the business.
You know what I'm saying? So
the
yeah, so we
business.
do that off camera. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to put my business out there. You know what I mean? So yeah. So nah, you know what I mean? Nah, this is dope. Like I'm excited. Like you know what I mean? And then like I said, we from my second home, you know, Baltimore.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that connection coming to. Like that's what it is. You know what I mean? We vibing. You know what I'm saying?
And now you're in my second home.
Yes.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina is my second home. I love the Panthers. The Panthers is my second team.
Yeah.
So,
Ravens first.
you know the Ravens first. got to go with the home team, but the Panthers is second.
Yeah.
So you know, Charlotte is love, man. Charlotte is love, and I'm gonna get a chance to show you around
Yeah.
and you know let you see what's good, man. Charlotte is all good.
So what brought you to Charlotte from Baltimore?
The market. Once again, that DMV, that Baltimore, it wasn't a market.
Yeah.
So me and Reg, Reg, we were looking outside of Baltimore for a market. And, you know, I came down, I had some friends that was already living down here. So I came down and Charlotte was just beginning to come up.
Yeah.
And I got on the phone, I was like, Reg, Charlotte is where we need to open up shop at. And so that's what brought me to Charlotte.
Gotcha.
And it's been all love ever since I've been here.
Gotcha. Okay. Now you said off camera you and I spoke, and you said
Yes.
there's opportunity out here in
Yes.
Charlotte. Again, I haven't even been here a whole year yet. So
Okay.
what opportunity? Because me, I feel like, I mean, aside from this, and like I
Right.
said, I initially came out because I was transferred through radio. They sent me
Yes.
down here. But aside from the radio platform, me doing this, what opportunities are out there?
Okay. I don't know, I think it was maybe for the last 10 or 15 years, Charlotte was hosting the CIAA.
Yes.
They just hosted the NBA All-Star.
weekend. Yes.
You have NASCAR here in Charlotte. You have Club One. You have the Fillmore House. You have a lot of entertainment venues that are always bringing in celebrity guests. 2 Chainz, Lil Wayne, Cardi B. Then they have maybe within a 6-month time span, they grew from probably 40 breweries to like 200. You know, so it's just all kind of opportunities. The housing development is growing. Man, the foods, the restaurants, it's just any and everything for any and everybody.
Yeah.
It's just taking off.
Gotcha.
You know, it has a diverse community. Folks from different ethnical backgrounds are relocating here, and it's just opening up the market.
Yeah.
So it's all love.
Well, maybe you can help me with this. You know what I mean? Because me and my fiance, like I said, we came out here from New York.
Okay.
And the problem we're having is we can't find no good Chinese food. So serious. So if you say so serious. And the crazy thing is my boss Mike D'Amicus over at Intercom, you
Okay.
know, the radio platform when I came out here, because he's from New York too. Like all the bosses at the Intercom radio platform out here, they're all from New York.
Okay.
And so it's like the first thing they told me was, there's no good like Chinese food out here. And I said, nah, you lying. So then me and my girl, we've ordered from several different places, popped in several different places, and it was like, yo, like the food is nasty.
Right.
So I seen like, cause we drive around Charlotte and like, we like to go to the hood. So like we seen one Chinese joint with bars on the window. So I like, yo, they food probably good.
Right.
But we ain't go in there because I think we was doing something. I said, we gotta stop by there. So if you could recommend, unless you could co-sign and say, nah, they don't got no good Chinese food.
I'm gonna recommend off camera, but it's like, I'm sure it's like that in New York, and you from living in Baltimore, you know how it is. The good Chinese spots are in the hood, on the corner.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Charlotte don't have those Chinese spots that's in the hood that's good. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just say that. You know what I mean? They got some good spots, but the good spots are just not in the hood.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
And you said they got the bars up, so the food probably
Yeah,
good and
you know
all
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was thinking, because, like me, I mean, the spots in Harlem, like I live in Harlem, Hamilton Heights, like, you know, Washington Heights, Sugar Hill area, like, all the spots, like, even my girl, she's from the Bronx, so even when I used to go to the Bronx, like, see her, like, we would get good Chinese food. And it, but not from, like, even in Baltimore, like, you know what I mean? There was good Chinese food in Baltimore. Then we come here, like, literally just the other night, she was like, yo, I just want some Chinese food.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, me too, babe. Like, I mean, we're going to New York, like, in a couple of weeks. So I told her, like, yo, we're going to New York, we're going to splurge. Because New York, you know, New York is cultural. So it's like, she's Puerto Rican, so it's like, you know what I mean? I love Spanish food. But we can't find no good Spanish. There's lots of Mexican spots.
That's what I was going to say.
But when I say, that's what I'm saying. So when I say Spanish food, everybody say, well, there's Mexican spots. But I'm like, in New York, like, when we say Spanish, I'm talking about some straight Dominican, Puerto Rican stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Then they got a Caribbean spot down here. Okay, let's get back to the Chinese food.
No, I guess
let's get back to the Chinese food.
But I mean, the Chinese food, the Spanish food I love, you know what I mean? So I told her, even the halal food, like I've seen halal trucks out here, but I don't know how good their food is. So I told her, I said, yo, when we go to New York, like, yo, I'm probably gonna gain like 10, 20 pounds.
The halal spot on Tryon and Trade, that's good.
Is it?
Yeah, that's good.
Is it like is it a truck or is it a spot?
It's a truck.
Okay, cool. Nah,
It's a truck.
All right, cool.
That truck on Tryon and Trade, that's good halal food.
Tryon and Trade.
Tryon and Trade.
I got you. Got to remind me off that.
Uptown.
Uptown.
Now you know they call they downtown Uptown.
Yes, they schooled me to that when I moved out here too. Yeah, man.
And it's all love. It's all love.
Yeah, no, my boss, like, again, when I was in radio, she was one of the bosses. She was like, yeah, they don't have it downtown. We call it Uptown down here. I was like, okay, whatever, you know. Like, it don't really matter to me, like, you know what I mean? Like, still city area, you know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So, we got you making the right moves.
Conference. Making the right moves entertainment conference.
Making the right moves entertainment conference. So what is making the right moves entertainment aside from the conference? Because you hired me to a company that I'm not even familiar with. So what is making the right moves entertainment?
Making the right moves entertainment is all about making the right moves for any artists that we're dealing with. Okay, we have some artists that are signed, and I'm gonna go ahead and plug them. The main artist is Eldorado Reg. Okay, and then we have Johnny Cash and we have Zakiya Avenue. So what we do with these artists is we manage them, we market, and we promote them.
Okay.
So making the right movement entertainment is strictly about the managing of the artists, the marketing them, and the promoting them.
So yeah, but y'all don't distribute them? Like y'all don't do no with that platform?
No,
like,
we haven't reached that level yet. And because we kind of like give the artists the opportunity to, if that's what they want, because some artists, they just want the Spotify streaming. They don't want to go no farther than Spotify. And, you know, us, okay, if that's what you want, then that's fine. Okay, go ahead.
Nah, I mean,
because I see you, come on. Come on.
I just feel like, again, like when I used to deal with artists doing the mixtape distribution for them, I mean, they weren't my artists.
Right.
So in all actuality, I don't have a voice to really tell you what to do. Right. But because you pointed out knowledge, whatever the business, I would tell you what make the most sense. So there are a couple of artists that I've met out here that I know, even that's been on the show as well, that say they only want to do Spotify.
Right.
But everybody doesn't have Spotify.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, so you're only reaching one core audience group. Right. But what about the audience that's listening to Apple Music? That's listening to Tidal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not even that. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, you know what I mean? Don't pigeonhole yourself.
Right.
Just because if that's what you, because at the end of the day, you're still doing the marketing, the branding, your company. So meaning y'all got to make money.
Right.
So yeah, y'all can tell me what y'all want to do, but if we getting money from all these different streaming platforms,
Right.
yeah, I mean, we're not gonna shut up. Like, and that's no disrespect to your artists, but let us do our job.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because now you're limiting us.
Right.
With the extra money that could be coming in because you only want to be on one platform.
Right.
So if they say I only do Spotify, I'd be like, okay, we could put you on Spotify, but we're also, because even if you go through TuneCore, you know what I mean? It's not like they're going to charge you extra for going through different avenues. Like, they'll let you go through all the avenues you want, like at the same one cost. So if you go on TuneCore and you say, I just want to do Spotify, or like I said, or you could do Spotify directly now. Right. But like I said, if you do TuneCore, like, what is it, $10 just to, you know what I mean? They distribute on everything. I even encourage everybody to go on TuneCore for the Shazam purposes. Because it's like if you're somewhere and somebody wants to know the name of your song, that artist's song, you know what I mean? At least if they Shazam it, it's like, okay, cool, now I could buy it from Spotify, I mean, stream it from Spotify, or buy it from Apple, or listen to it on Tidal, or things of that nature. So it's like, yeah, I would never, and artists, because they would only tell me that back then when I was DJing, like, I only want to do live mixtapes, I only want to do Spinrilla.
Right.
I'd be like, all right, well, I'm going to put it everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because unless you have like an exclusivity deal with like live mixtape or Spinrillas, like, nah, put it everywhere, because whoever doesn't listen to those, you know, those apps, like, you know what I mean, they're missing out.
Right.
You know, because a lot of these apps, honestly, too, are like regional, because like Spinrilla, like not too many people in New York, at least by the time I left, weren't familiar with Spinrilla, but the whole DMV in the South, like, they know what Spinrilla is. So it's also like a regional thing. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say that people want to find out more at the show, because we have to wrap this up.
Okay.
Where can people find you? What's your social media handle?
Facebook, I'm on under my government name, Eric McIntosh. Instagram, I'm under Mr. Slangology _BMore1218.
Gotcha.
And those are my only social media sites.
Eric, this was dope.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, we're going to see you guys at the Making the Right Moves Entertainment Conference.
June the 21st through the 23rd.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in to the Stefon Show.
You about, show what 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 you about.